Hello, Libra, and welcome to your November 15th through 30th. So we're heading right into December now. Tarot card reading. So let's go ahead and jump in. I've already meditated on your sign, and I drew a couple animal cards and the Celtic cross. So I'll start with the animal cards. This is just an overarching thematic energy to keep in mind as we move through both the rest of the spread and also these next couple of weeks. So I'll start by reading them from the book, and then I'll give you my intuitive 2 cents. So we have, interesting, the rabbit and the vulture. Okay. The rabbit and the vulture. The vulture. And this feels both like an obstacle and a pathway. I just heard expressway. So there's something that this will initiate. Okay, interesting. Vulture. Guardian and purifier. Essential for rebalance. The vulture is perhaps the most misunderstood creature of all. This intriguing bird balances our ecosystem and prevents the spread of disease. It does the dirty work that no one else wants to do and cleans up our messes. The vulture appears when there's a situation that needs to be purified or brought back into balance. Remember, the vulture is greatly undervalued. What you thought was a mistake or tragedy is a blessing in disguise. When in balance, clarifies, reveals wisdom. When out of balance, dramatic, aggressive. To bring into balance, clean your space, sage. Okay. So this purification energy is coming in. And there's a lot of, I feel like this purification has to do with relationships, and also this process of purification takes place for many of you through relationship, through communication, I just heard. So the rabbit. Let's see here. The rabbit. Afraid of everything, overwhelmed, frozen. The rabbit loves to remind his friends that someday the eagle will swoop down and eat him. He talks and talks and talks about it, so loudly in fact that one day the eagle hears and thanks him for the great idea. Rabbit energy is alive when we are scared, most often about the future, and we become our own worst enemy. We spin up a dust cloud of fear and then complain to others that we are lost. Notice your thoughts and words, O rabbit. They shape your destiny. When in balance, sensitive, problem solver, good listener. When out of balance, over-explains, talks fast. To bring into balance, a day of silence. So yeah, what I'm getting is there seems to be this focus on the future and this anticipatory energy that's coming through with this wanting to prep and prepare for something upcoming in the future. And there's this and it feels like through partnership of some kind there is this for the majority of you. This could also just be partnering with yourself or with a methodology of some kind. But for many of you, I feel like I'm looking at partnership or team or something like that, support, friendship. And through this, it initiates this purification process of as a way. It almost feels like this weeding, like this weeding process, this narrowing down, this decision-making process, this planting of seeds as well. So it just feels like this collaborative, cultivating effort between these 2 cards. But whatever it is nurturing the purification process as a means to make space and, I heard, ready your ground for growth. And again, that future, looking into that future and preparing for your future seems to be right right at the focus of things for you. So let's keep that mind, let's keep those two in mind as we move through the rest of the spread, and let me show you what I'm looking at here. So on the bottom of the deck, we have the Son of Wands. And when I looked at this, I heard Aries for some of you, Aries. And then we have behind that the Son of Swords. So there is sort of this, I just heard dynamic duo, but there also feels like this could be someone where it's this back and forth of triggering. I just heard trigger happy. So there seems to be something around or in your environment that is that could be triggering you in all sorts of, I'll say, exciting ways, because it will illuminate spaces that need resolution, that need to be integrated, that without this trigger would not be as accessible. So, as in your consciousness, in your awareness. Okay, so we'll start here. This is the focal point of the reading. Okay, so we have this decision-making process, the Seven of Cups reversed, and then crossed the Hanged Man and the Nine of Wands. In the recent past, we have the High Priestess reversed. Anchoring the spread, we have the Devil, Capricorn, Pisces, or Libra also just came up with this, and Scorpio. And then coming up here in the near future, we have the Ace of Pentacles. Look at that. That's so beautiful. That's so streamlined. And then crowning the spread, we have the Son of Cups. And this is representing your general energy here. We have the Daughter of Swords. And in your environment, we have, okay, the Nine of Swords reversed. In Hopes and Fears, we have the Eight of Pentacles, and then heading out into December, there's the Five of Pentacles, and then the Death card reversed, and the card that I'm choosing, I pulled one card from Colette Baron Reed's The Good Tarot, and we have the Nine of Fire. There was a lot of electricity with this card when I pulled it for you guys. Okay, so the Seven of Cups reversed. So there's this filtration, this decision-making process, it's almost, the image that I'm getting is getting to sort of the quintessence, the essence of something. So there's this, when you make like essential oil, like it's constant, it's sort of, it's like this filtration process that I feel like I'm looking at. And I feel like that's sort of what's happening as you're narrowing things down for yourself in your environment, and also with your projects, and where your resources are going, where your energy is going, where your time is going, where your focus is going. So there's this sort of this narrowing things down, and it's crossed by the Hanged Man and the Nine of Wands. There's this required patience. There's this patience in this waiting game, I just heard, as you continue to steadily make progress. But it feels as though with this, I just heard stop point. So it's almost as if during these couple of weeks here, it sort of feels like you've hit a wall in some way or form around, and for most of you, it feels like either in communication or in progress around a creative project. So it sort of feels like there is this moment where you're like, oh, I feel like I've hit a wall. I don't quite know how to break through this. So then there's this waiting, this analyzing, this analytical analytical energy coming in, where you're evaluating, I just heard alternative routes and also ways to break through. And I just heard streamlining again, streamlining. I heard this with this card as well. So anchoring the spread, we have the Devil. So Capricorn, this heavy earth energy, this sense of responsibility is coming up strong. And also this impatience around bringing something into form, making something realized, actualized. And it's almost a sensation is that this feels like it's an energy that you worked with that would sort of move you forward with this almost desperation, not desperation, it's almost like this blind ambition, where it's this forcefulness of your will that that you relied on to, or something that you thought in some way or form was the key to generating the success that you wanted to see in a material world. But then we have this in the recent past, the High Priestess, which is sort of looking down at the Devil. So I feel like there's been this transformation. There's been this new understanding of how to create, how to manifest. And now we're looking at the much more intuitive. This is the most intuitive card in the deck. So we're looking at a more intuitive approach, something more aligned with your joy, something more aligned with what feels authentic and true to your own pulse, I just heard. So something that is in rhythm with who you are. So there is this sort of this awareness, this heightened awareness of those more yin energies, that receptivity. There's like this state of receptivity that I feel you have been in the recent past, this opening to new realms, I just heard. And all this feels very connected to manifestation and understanding your process of manifestation. So the Nine of Wands and the Hangman, which is the energy that's currently carrying us into this Ace of Pentacles, from this state of receptivity. So now it feels like it's almost the feeling I'm getting is that you're looking for this breakthrough. You're ready, and there's a patience, and there's this eagerness to break out, to break out of the mundane, to however wonderful and healthy this time was, and all these resources that you've acquired from this time. There is just this feeling of wanting to break out now in a new way and to break through, I just heard again. So this carries us directly into the Ace of Pentacles reversed. So there is this clarifying of where that spark lies. So like where that, I just heard foothold, handhold. So what that next step forward is for you, and it's coming into view. It's becoming clear in a whole new way, along with this continued to, from your end, to evaluate and shape and work with and purify whatever it is that you're creating. So there is this sort of purifying, there is this sorting through, there is this the conversations is what it sounds like, and you're just thinking about it, and talking about the sort of analyzing of what those next steps forward are. So it's becoming that actual, instead of just sort of talking about it and thinking about it, that next step forward is coming up here right in the near future. And December, I think I said it before, but it feels like a really, really strong month for multiple signs, and it definitely goes for Libra. December, I feel like there's a lot of action coming in. This is about sort of articulating your view, you're articulating your way forward. And the Ace of Pentacles, and that's in the grounded, the third dimension. So It's real action step. So a real, and it does sort of feel like a bit of a catalyst, something that sort of catalyzes that next bit of momentum. And the Son of Cups at the crown of the spread in reverse, this energy, it also feels like a waiting energy, like a waiting and wondering, but it's different because this feels a bit more of wanting to break out of the mundane, where this is almost like it feels like waiting for news. It's this, it's almost like it's like putting your ear up to the door, just sort of waiting for news of some kind is what it feels like. And it feels like the news feels very vibrant and exciting and bubbly, and so sort of waiting for that news. That's sort of, there's excitement around waiting for this news. So your general energy, the Daughter of Swords. So this is you, and we can see this all of these little sparks happening over, these sparks of inspiration, these sparks of color, but this daughter just so easefully perched on this sword. So there is this evaluation, there is this considering options, considering ways forward. This is very airy, very airy. So there's this things still feel up in the air for many of you around particularly creative endeavors or relationships. So there's this wondering that's happening. There's this curiosity. And Aquarius is coming up strong as well here, Aquarius, and that Aquarius energy. So you might even want to check that reading out. There feels like there's a lot of similarities, a lot of crossover. So yeah, there is this contemplation that's happening, this contemplation of possibility and potential and avenues forward. So in your environment, we have the Nine of Swords reversed. And this feels like it is, this is sort of that triggering energy that we're looking at. So there's something in your environment, or there's someone, or there are a couple people that are just sort of triggering, and it doesn't feel in like a volatile way. It just feels like very, really triggering of these like soft spots, these little hot spots and soft spots, I want to say. So there is this in your environment. I feel like you're experiencing some triggering that you are that you're moving through, that you're navigating your way through, and it feels like it is quite illuminating as it pertains to relationships and your relationship to relationship, and also your expectations. So it's I think it might even be your expectations that are being triggered, that you're then oh, I have to face that these expectations come up, and what does that mean, and reflect on that. So there is this sort of contemplation that's happening around whatever this is in your environment as well. So in Hopes and Fears, we have the Eight of Pentacles. So this is stable foundation. This is creativity. This is this liberating yourself from being beholden to anyone else. So there is this, while being really collectively connected. So this feels like independence. There is this like hope for independence, and sovereignty, sort of to be your own self-governing, self. So there is this independent nature that you're hoping for, this empowered self-governing nature that you're striving for, and you're building. You see with this beautiful card, we're looking at Pentacles, Earth energy. So this spider so carefully and diligently building this web that has such integrity. It's on the material realm. So there is this, it's a matter of structure and structuring and blueprint and building that integrity, that foundation. Um, I just heard safe and sound. So having that sense of security, there's this hope for independence and security. So carrying us into December here, right at the end of November, we had the Five of Pentacles and the Death card reversed. So I will say, and this is just for a select few, and I am hearing pass over. So that's just for, that's more specific, or just for a selector few. But I am feeling that, more generally speaking, for the majority of you, it is just this contemplation of, this feels like a more sober energy here. And it's almost as though you're presented with a serious decision, or a decision that you can feel the weight of it. It could be lighthearted. It could be connected to romance. It could be connected to jobs. It could be personal and, you know, relationships. But whatever this is, sort of where you're investing, you know, it's this. I feel like it's a matter of time and resources, and how you're going to. So it's sort of this very real decision that you have to make about it. It's almost like a crossroads of what avenue to take, and you get like really real with yourself, and it feels like you're just sort of really finding yourself needing to, whatever this trigger or something, or you know, or something, opportunity, whatever comes in that causes you to say, okay, so now I need to take steps forward, make a decision, and I need to get really real about, I'm being shown like a pros and cons list. So about that, in, you know, and take a really sober look at things before making this decision. And then I see sort of, there is this, with the Nine of Fire, which is the Nine of Wands, which you also have here, there can be a little bit of that heaviness, that sort of, that sense of responsibility, so there's just, it just feels like whatever this decision is, it's like the ball, I just heard the ball is in your court, and it feels like it's something that you want to take really seriously, and you want to move forward with such clarity, and it feels strategic. And it feels, and it's almost like taking that time as a way that you're keeping yourself grounded amidst the more excitable, I'll say, energy. Or for some of you, you may experience it as anxious energy. So it's just sort of really getting clear about the facts and how it feels for you. You know, really getting in touch with yourself in order to make whatever this decision is, from a place of as much clarity as possible. So now let me go ahead and read this, the Nine of Fire, carrying us into December. And sort of summing up this spread as well. So the Nine of Fire. And for many of you, I feel like that decision, I am looking at potentially an opportunity or a couple offers, or, and I just even heard romantic offer. So there's just different potentials that are flying around that you're now sort of like, oh, this is a potential that has manifested as an opportunity in the real world, and now I need to decide what to do with that. So Nine of Fire, which that's really exciting. The Nine of Fire. Caution, uncertainty, reevaluating circumstances. Okay. I need to stop, wait, and look around me before proceeding further. My sense of uncertainty is my inner wisdom telling me to bring illumination to my situation, to allow insights to arise and guide me before I take my next step. Questioning is good. I will look carefully to see if a different path may be right for me at this point. So yeah, you're just being asked to be mindful and conscious and to give careful consideration where careful consideration is due. So don't force your way through this process. Allow yourself to feel your way through this process. Experience your way through it, and and really strive for that clarity as you're making these. Give your space, make some space for that clarity around these decisions. So I'm sending you all of my love. Do check out your rising and moon sign as well as your sun sign, because that'll give you a more holistic reading. And yes, please like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate that so much. And I love you with all my heart. Okay, I'll see you in a couple weeks.